mutant exotic, homo erotic. Feel my motherfucking bass in your body. I could be the devil, or maybe I'm a goddess. Clap your hands from this mutant exotic, mutant exotic. I control your body. Everything I do is a little bit demonic. In the human race, invade your planet. I'm sending out a signal, hoping that you understand it. Mutant exotic, mutant exotic.
Before I knew what gay was, I knew that I was gay, or just like different, and that it was something to like be ashamed of. For a long time I really wished that I wasn't gay. You just hope that you can change something that you'll never be able to change. I would say probably by like, maybe, yeah, like 5th or 6th grade probably, I figured out what I was attracted to. I grew up in Vermont. There wasn't a lot of representation in my community. I think I was just raised to believe that if you admitted that you were gay, that's like all you would ever be. That was your one identifying factor, was that you were gay. I think I was always afraid to admit to myself because I didn't want to just be gay. I was working at Wendell's as a digger. I wasn't happy. I was like lashing out at people all the time. I was a very angry person. And I couldn't tell people why either. I was just an asshole for seemingly no reason to other people because they couldn't tell what was going on inside. I was kind of given an ultimatum. The head digger was kind of like, who was a good friend of mine and still is, but he basically was like, if you can't figure your shit out and chill and be happy, I don't want you here. And at that point I just realized I know what's wrong. I know why I'm acting this way. I know why I'm lashing out at people, and I just have to admit it. I can't keep living that way anymore, because more than just like hurting my friends, I was hurting myself. I came out to Trevor. He was super supportive. He was like a big brother to me already. I was just so terrified, but he immediately just was like, we're family and we'll always be family. And he was honestly happy just because he knew something was wrong and I couldn't say it. And you know, after years of dealing with that, I think he was just happy for me that I could finally admit that part of myself to him. I started coming out to everybody, you know, that I worked with at Wendell's, and at the time I was worried that for some reason working at a summer camp with kids would be a problem because I was gay, that people would be threatened. You know, there's still that shame that made me feel there was a reason to be in the closet, and that wasn't the case. The staff at Wendell's was super supportive. Everyone was like accepting and loving and caring. So I had come out while I was working at Wendell's, and then the next summer, Cam and I made that little edit.
But did you hear that one about Michael? Some say he must be gay. I tried to argue, but they said if he was straight, he wouldn't move that way. But did you hear that one?
I remember like a handful of people being like, yo, is this like a joke or are you actually gay? It wasn't like, hi, I'm a homosexual and I'm a snowboarder. We kind of like skirted around it a little bit. There's no archetype for that, you know. There wasn't, it hadn't been done before. There was no blueprint to follow. A lot of people hiding behind keyboards. People sure as hell wanted to make sure that their opinions about me were known. It just felt like I got kind of shamed, and I reached out to some of the magazines at the time and some of the websites. I'm pretty sure I just got ghosted. I don't remember anybody being like, yes, this is something that we want to do, or like, we want to share your story, or it just wasn't the right time. The space just wasn't there, and there just wasn't enough people to create space. I took a break from snowboarding because I needed to find myself. I felt a little jaded, and I felt alone, you know, feeling like I was the only one. I guess I didn't know what being queer meant to me. I felt like I needed to go find that. I felt like I didn't fit in snowboarding anymore, and I also didn't know what queerness was about, or because I had never had gay friends or been around gay people or gone out to the bars, gone to Pride. My time away from snowboarding was learning about all of that. I'm grateful that I did, because I met my partner, I found queer culture that I desperately needed. I started to understand myself a little bit more. Sometimes you gotta step away from what you love to kind of learn about yourself. I get excited when I put on a leather harness and go snowboard. Sometimes you have to step out of your own comfort zone to break down that barrier for the next person. And anytime I've, dressed silly or crazy or flamboyant or gay and gone snowboarding, I've always gotten a lot of positive reactions. Some people might not like it, but most people have always been happy and excited. So I think I'm excited for that to be more prevalent in the snowboard community. You don't have to be gay to express yourself like that. You can just, anybody can do it. It's just breaking down that wall so that other people feel comfortable expressing themselves in the way that they want to express themselves. It's kind of funny to like something that doesn't have a lot of space for queerness. Not only do I want snowboard culture to be more accepting of queer people, but I also want queer people to know that they're welcome and that there isn't just one type of being gay, that you can do whatever the fuck you want, you can be whoever you want, you can chase whatever dreams or passions you have, and you're not just limited to a certain lifestyle. And I guess the reason why I want people to know that is because I didn't know that.